All right. All right. So we're live this morning. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. I really appreciate it. Dr. Nicole Steiner is going to come on and she's going to speak about self-publishing. We want to cover some myths about self-publishing. So Nicole, I am really honored. Honestly, you have a wealth of information. You've always helped out the members, when I have questions about publishing or members do. So thank you for jumping on board to do this morning.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon. Yeah.
How'd you get into this? Can you introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah, so I am a full-time family doc here in Durham, North Carolina, and married, 2 kids, busy. But what happened to me prior to my eldest is now 8. When she was first born, going back to work, maternity leave, breastfeeding, not sleeping, full-time practice, doing all the things you're supposed to do as a working mom. I literally passed out at work. Yeah, just who knows? We still don't know to this time. I did all the things. I was thankfully in clinic, so all my colleagues came running and checking things and blood work and EKG and all that, and everything came out fine. Did an MRI, saw the neurologist, etc. Who knows if it was stress? Who knows if it was a complex migraine, which is what the neurologist called it? Who knows? Long story short, I knew that I was burning myself out. Right. And trying to be the superwoman. And that's literally where the idea for writing about what I call the superwoman complex, kind of my niche, started 8 years ago. Fast forward, as I self-published that book through Amazon and then did a follow-up of that book about a year or so later through Amazon. Well, no. First one was on Amazon. Second one, I self-published myself with the help of my husband, who does a lot of graphic stuff and photography, formatting. My sister-in-law at the time was a professional editor. I learned so much about social media, over that year or so doing stuff. We essentially decided, hey, we can do this on our own. We can do this for ourselves. And by that second book, I had more and more colleagues, doctors, non-clinicians, asking me, hey, how did you do it? I've always wanted to do it. Can you teach me? Can you help me? And that's literally how Swiner Publishing was born. Literally.
What a beautiful story. I'm so happy that you had the help within your family too,
Yes, very, very lucky. And now, we've grown so that I have a more contract folks that I use, but you can do this, you can do this for yourself. You can do this with the aid and help of smart folks. You don't have to spend $1 million to get this done. It is doable.
Excellent. Yeah. All right, let's talk about some myths of publishing. Let's jump right into it.
So I'll go, continue off of you don't have to spend $1 million. A lot of folks think that you will have to break your bank in order to publish your book or publish your ebook or your poetry book. And that's absolutely not true. There are so many things available now online on the internet, apps that you can use yourself to publish your book very easily. There are some free things. My favorite apps to use are Canva, which are downloadable on anyone's phone nowadays. Canva.com is the website. WordSwag is another app that I love to use. And what's helpful about these things is, number one, they can be free. You can pay the extra monies to get the advanced settings, but a lot of these things are free. And what you can do is take your own picture, your own selfie or your headshot on these apps, turn it into a book cover, turn it into graphics that you use to market your book. You can actually write an ebook on Canva by taking your words from your Word document, copying and pasting it, and putting it into their ebook format. You can do all this stuff on your own on a lot of these apps, and a lot of them are free. Or you can pay, some money, save up some money, and pay, a coach or pay a consultant or pay an editor to help you with the hard parts. But it does not have to cost $1 million. So that's my number one thing. That number one myth to get rid of is you can either do this on your own for free or pay a little bit of money to get the help you need to publish your thing. Number one. Want me to keep going?
Well, I think it's important to have help. I really do. Because I've tried to publish on my own, and there's, I'm
so busy.
I'm not great at spelling. I'm not great at grammar, and to have someone that can edit it for you, and definitely formatting. I'm OCD. I will spend hours trying to figure something out. It's
very frustrating and tedious. Yes, I watch my husband do it, and thank the Lord that he can do it, because I watch him cuss and do it all the time. It's so frustrating.
But then, like, you pay someone to work out those kinks. Do you know what I mean? Right. You can spend hours like I have or other people do working. Because time is money. So
that's right. And we're also busy. You know, we're running practices and businesses and families and all that. Definitely pay an expert so that you don't have to pull your hair out about it. That's good.
All right. What else?
The other thing I like to tell my folks that I'm talking to about publishing is you don't have to start from scratch. You know, I'll have a lot of people text me or DM me and say, hey, I've always had this idea for a book, but I don't know where to start. Like, I haven't written a page. And for most of us, that's really not true, especially if you've already been an entrepreneur for a while or you are prolific on social media about certain topics. The way that I wrote my first book literally was combining a lot of the blog entries and social media posts that I'd already written. My husband is coming around the corner. The alarm's not on. Good morning.
We're happy you exist. You helped Dr. Nicole out. Thank you.
Dr. Sharon says hi. We're talking about publishing. This is my professional partner in crime, and he does editing and formatting and book cover design. There's Rick.
Great partnership. That's great.
Hi.
Love your pictures too.
I love your pictures. Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, you don't have to start from scratch. Take the stuff that you already have and start from there. You know, start from your last blog entry, the last couple of blog entries, put them together, chop them up into chapters. Take the stuff that you're really passionate about and that you go back on social media and look that you posted and say, you know what, I've talked a lot about politics. I've talked a lot about maternal child health. Let me combine those things and put them together. So don't start from scratch. You use the things that you already have.
Dr. Nicole, that's a really great tip. You know, because how many of us, we are overwhelmed, right? I feel like I can't do this. There's no time. But if you've been on social media and publishing or, you know, just printing out whatever you talk about, if you want to write a book about, that would make sense, you know, you're familiar with the topic.
And a lot of us, particularly since we've been in school and college and grad school and medical school, all these things, we've had to write forever, right? So you've written something before. And you've, you know, for those who may even have a PhD and had to do a dissertation or a master's and had to do a huge paper, you know, you can turn that and you could adjust those things you've already created and make a book out of that. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Excellent. All right. Any other tips that you want to suggest?
Yeah. So, you know, unless you are Oprah or Beyonce, you will probably not become a billionaire off of your book sales. Okay. So people don't write books nowadays to become New York bestselling billionaire authors. What people do nowadays is take that book and do something with it, right? So no, I've written, you know, 6 or 7 books or either myself or co-authored them. Not a billionaire yet, but what I have, but what I have been able to do and what other colleagues have been able to do is take those books, and then create something out of it. Dr. Sharon always does a great job of giving tips on just being a serial entrepreneur in ways that, you know, outside of the box. So taking that book, creating an e-course, taking that book and putting yourself more in front as a professional paid speaker, taking that book and creating a consulting business around that book, getting on news and media with that book. So it's what you do with the book that matters. You know, if you're publishing on Amazon or publishing on Barnes and Nobles, etc., yet, wink. So, you know, it really is about how skillful you can be with the book, because on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, they're going to take their cut of your sales. You know, if you're selling it hand to hand, there's all these costs for printing that you have to take into account. But if you are doing lots of speaking and paid appearances, you'll make up for it. You'll make your money back. So just, you know, go ahead and start. Even before you write the book, think, what do I want to do with this book? Why am I writing this book? Is this to make enough outside money with my side gigs and side hustles that I can cut back on practice a little bit? That's what I did. I'm down to, 3 days in clinic and 2 days telemedicine, and kind of getting down to the nitty gritty of what I really want to do and become most passionate about, and think along those lines.
Have the end in mind. You're so good, and I love this, like you're using it as a stepping stone.
Yes,
make some money, hopefully, but what else are you going to do with it? That's great.
That's where the real money is. That's right.
Anything else you want to suggest?
The last myth I'll leave you with is those that still are concerned about self-publishing versus traditional publishing. And I get it, they're particularly because we're in, a lot of us are in academia. We see our colleagues, publishing through the universities or the hospitals or the colleges that we're associated with. And that's good, and that's beneficial and helpful, and definitely is a blessing if your bigger publishers can pick you up and take your book to the finish line for you. However, there are cons to that because not only does your content not really belong to you anymore, it belongs to the publisher, but they get to decide what you can and can't do with it. So. I don't know if you're, getting a bonus, a signing bonus, or you're they're gonna do all the work for you for free. But at the end of the day, you don't really own your product. So let's say if you want to take that wonderful book that you published through your university and turn it into an ebook, or you want to do a second volume, you have to really go through all of the bureaucracy and get permission to do that. Or if you want to buy your own book and sell it here and there and put it into local bookstores, you have to get permission to do that, and they will take their cut. So traditional publishing, it still works. It's still there. I have a lot of folks come to me after having been rejected. They pitched their idea to a traditional publisher and they said, no, it's not good enough. But I think everyone is allowed and should have the right to tell their own story in the way that they would like to tell it. So when you self-publish, you have 100% control. It's your product. You can change it, adjust it the way you want. You can use it the way you want. You can sell it for what you want, make the money the way that you want, and not have to ask anyone. And I think that that's worth the amount, gold.
Yeah.
Owning your own, having ownership of your content is tremendous. You don't have to ask anyone else's permission to use it.
And we're all physicians, so I think that, we've worked hard to get there, and we all have something to say. You have a retreat coming up. Tell us.
I do. October 19th and 20th, we're doing our second writer's retreat here in Durham, North Carolina. If you've never been, you should definitely come and visit. It's a wonderful place with lots of good food and music and wonderful people. And we have a great time at Moorhead Manor Bed and Breakfast, which is your local bed and breakfast here. Perfect setup for nice, cozy, writing quiet times, and then get together one-on-one or presentation mode where I'm teaching about whatever and wherever you want to go with your writing. It's, I want to start a blog. It's, I want to take my blog and create an ebook. I want to take that ebook and turn it into a printed book. I want to create an empire from that book. We talk about whatever you want and walk you through the process. There is also going to be my husband's going to be there as a photographer on set, so you can get some professional headshots done. We're going to have 2 makeup artists there to do some makeup tips for men too. Men may need some makeup tips and foundation for their headshots and all of that, and to be on media as well. And we're going to have a massage therapist because I think relaxation is key. But
you have it all thought out.
It's what I would want. It's selfishly, what I would want if I went to a writer's retreat. We spend the night, or if you're local, you can always stay local. There's a different ticket price for if you just want to jump in, jump out. But it was a good time last year, and probably 20% of the folks that came last year signed on with us and launched their best-selling books, which makes my heart very happy. So you should definitely come and check us out. The website is bit.ly/Swiners Writers Retreat. Let me make sure all those S's are right. Swiner Writers Retreat. That's what it is. Yeah.
I'm going to put this in the comments, and wherever I share this video, I'm going to make sure that we have a link because I think that works the best.
Yes. Swiner Writers Retreat. So much fun. So you should definitely join us. I'm working on maybe a virtual link, so if you're out of state and you just want to look in and watch in, I have a recorded option. So if you want to get the recording and the PowerPoint later, you can, but I'm thinking about maybe doing a virtual one where you can live stream and look in.
That's excellent. It's been wonderful speaking with you.
Yay.
Your retreat's going to be excellent. Everyone's saying thank you so much. And
thank you.
Dr. Un is like, massage therapist. She likes that idea. Being itchy. Thank you again, really, and thank you for being part of our group. It's really helped out the members so much.
You're welcome. And I'll come back to the thread and see if there are any other questions. Feel free to leave questions here. I'll try to come back, DM me, shoot me an email, let me know. I'll come back and put my email in the comments as well.
Okay. I'll end the broadcast and then I'll say thank you. So thank you.
Thank you.